There is the story that people tell, and then there's the truth that really matters. Welcome to the Growth Obsessed podcast, real and raw conversations on leadership, business, and the relentless pursuit of growth. No fluff, no highlight reels, just the struggles, the setbacks, and the lessons that build true success. I'm Ben Lang, and I sit down with the most driven entrepreneurs and leaders to uncover what really shapes them, the pain, the resilience, and the breakthroughs. If you're here, you're not looking for surface level motivation. You're here to be challenged, to grow. So let's get real. Let's get uncomfortable. This is the Growth Obsessed podcast. And please don't forget to subscribe now. The conversation you need might be the one that changes everything. So I'm here with Sharif today, and Sharif is a great friend of mine. We've known each other for quite a while. Welcome to the show, Sharif.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. So let's dive right into it. First of all, I really want to know, now in the questionnaire, the Pharaoh of New Jersey. Is that self-proclaimed, or how? Tell me the story behind that.
No, I think it was just a fellow agent, a colleague of mine, and I are both Egyptians, so we coined ourselves the pharaohs of New Jersey, the real estate pharaohs of New Jersey. But
I love it.
that's self-proclaimed, not public until now.
Dude, well, now it's public, and
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's great. So tell me just a little bit about your background. I mean, you and I have known each other for what? So 7 years, 8 years, maybe?
Yeah, it's been some time now. I mean, background wise, I was, a dual career agent. So I went through those struggles. I was an IT professional and I did marketing as well. So I had a business for both IT and I had a separate business for marketing. And I did that for some time, alongside of real estate. And then after COVID, everything changed as it did for most people. And I had to make a decision, and basically went full time into real estate and parted ways with my past careers. Even though I was the advocate of you have to have multiple streams of incomes and diversify, but I found myself at a crossroads where I had to make a decision, and real estate's the way I went with it, and just actually diversified fully in that. So really, I'm an IT and marketing person that chooses to sell real estate. That's how I sell myself, and that's really what I do best. So that's really my background. So and I went through the struggles. I went through the struggles of working multiple jobs, and I still, to this extent, go through the struggles. Right, it's still multiple tasks that I have to handle. It's just all real estate related instead of going into different sectors.
Yeah. So, I mean, you and I have had multiple conversations on the phone about wearing multiple hats. I'm just going to tell everyone, since I know you're not going to do it for yourself. So, Sharif is a powerhouse team leader in New Jersey, a national real estate coach, a national public speaker for real estate. I mean, you've got quite a bit of accolades. Let me ask you. I want to get into some nitty gritty kind of stuff here. So, what do you wish that more people understood about the price of chasing their dreams? And I know, based on the conversations that you and I had, that you would be a great person to really kind of elaborate on this. So, the price of chasing your dreams, like, what do you want to tell people about what they might not understand about that?
I mean, I tell my agents all the time on my team, um, it's a steep price for success. You got to be all in. There's no such thing as part-time success, right? And it really takes you devoting yourself 100% to it. And a lot of people get into real estate and they think, well, I can do this on my own time, and I can do this part-time. But it's not really true. If you want to be successful, it's a full time. It's 100% if not 200% full time job. When you're on your couch watching TV, I'm probably reading emails. I'm probably researching the next best thing. When you're out, like, enjoying that dinner at, the nearest restaurant, I'm at home cooking dinner and probably reading a book while I'm doing such, or trying to figure out what the next problem, what the solution could be. You got to be 100% into it. And sometimes you're going to have to give up some personal time for that. So, unless I blocked my time right now, I wouldn't have any time for my family. I have to structure myself to actually put it on my calendar so I can spend time, because you got to be totally devoted. It's very difficult. It's not an easy career path. And I'd be lying to someone saying, hey, it's going to be easy. It's going to be just like you see on TV. We're going to be flipping houses together and you're going to be selling sunset, right? But it's not like that. It's meticulous, and overwhelming hours that you have to put into it in order to get those results, in order to better position yourself so you can have those freedoms that you're looking for. And really, it's not that you're escaping it and you're not putting the time in getting that type of freedom, but freedom to do what you want to do, right? That's what it comes down to. So I give up a lot to put myself in a position to do that. And I'm always trying to do something different. I'm always trying to push myself. And you have to always have that mentality that you can always make yourself better. So unless you put yourself into that mind frame, it's not going to work out for you. It's a lot of difficult things you got to go through. And honestly, it's not for everybody. It really isn't. It's not an easy career because you're giving up a lot of yourself, right? You're putting yourself out there with people you don't even know will transact with you. You're trying to help others, like your peers, that don't know if they even want the help or not. So it's a lot that you're putting out there to try to do it consistently and try to get some type of results back.
Yeah, and I know you, and I know that you really pour into others. Like you're like a really good-hearted, kind-hearted dude. I want to talk more about those costs. So, I mean, you kind of elaborated a little bit, but what has entrepreneurship? What are some of the costs that have come along with it, like relationships or maybe personal health, or just as a couple of examples? But what has the cost been?
I mean, I didn't have these gray hairs before starting full time into real estate. There's a lot of stress involved. There's a lot of stress management involved. There's a lot of, sleepless nights. I can tell you, I am sleepless majority of nights thinking about client issues, thinking about business issues, thinking about team issues. Like, it's a consistent battle that I have internally that you really got to deal with on a daily basis. It's not easy. Everyone thinks that, okay, you're a top producer now, everything's gravy, there's no problems anymore. But no, like Biggie said, it's more money, more problems. That's really it. And you're just getting hit now. It's almost like, how much can I take before I break? Right? That's how I feel on a daily basis, because we're just increasing, the amount of stuff that we have to do. I mean, just from like the countless hours of sleep, working nonstop. I start my day early at 5, trying to be healthier and working out, right? Eating healthier, just so we can last throughout the day, right? So that we're living longer. That's what it's about now. But really, like, I'm sending emails to my team before we start our huddle on something motivational. So I'm starting before 8 a.m. and I'm going all day, from our huddle to prospecting to meetings and follow ups, down to my family time. And after that, I'm jumping back on the computer. Yes, I'm that guy that jumps back on the computer after putting the kids to bed. I don't go watch TV. I am there catching up on what I didn't finish for the day so my next day won't be as rough. So you're working 12-hour shifts pretty much, right? On a consistent basis, and really trying to leverage every time you have. I mean, also, you could go away on vacation, but It's hard managing. I have a team of admins and transaction coordinators, but I still have to be involved at some point or another to advise and let them know what the next steps should be. Because really, it's built on the business that I'm bringing in. So going away for a week straight, putting the phone aside, I don't see that much. As much as I want to, I don't get to do that, right? I am constantly prospecting, following up, and booking appointments. That's my mentality now. And really, that's the drive to succeed, just so my kids don't have to go through the struggles that I may have encountered in the past, and just to make sure that they have an easier life, right? That's what the goals are. So I have no problem giving up a little bit of what people would think is leisure time, or the consistency of having that freeness, because I'm always dedicated to doing what I do to grow this business. It's really not a part-time thing. You're really doing it, over and over again every day. And it takes up a lot of your personal, worth basically to get it done.
Yeah, so if what I heard is the cost is, leisure time, vacations. I mean, I'm with you, dude. Like, I can't remember the last time I went on a vacation without my laptop. I don't think it's probably been 20 years ever since I've been an entrepreneur for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like impossible to go on a vacation. I mean, until you get to that the seventh level type, where you have someone running it. I heard you say costs with your family time. But in the same sentence, I heard you say, but that's why you're sacrificing family time to for legacy for your children so that they can have a little bit easier path than you had. Let me ask you this, because I know so you said you were in IT first before real estate. Was that your own business or did you work for someone else?
Yeah, I mean, I worked for someone else for the longest time, and then I started my own business. It was right around 2012 when I actually started that.
So what was the shift like going from working for someone else to working for yourself? Because listen, like I talk to so many people that are like, man, I want to work for myself. Like I'll be on easy street. I can make my own schedule.
You wake up unemployed every day, Ben. That's what happens. You don't have that security blanket where you're getting a paycheck, and it could really screw with your head. Some days you'll be busy and others you're not. And when you're not busy as self employed, you start to worry because you're not getting that paycheck every other Friday. And it's not a guaranteed thing. I mean, it's like rich dad, poor dad, though. You're not counting paychecks anymore, right? You're counting profits. And that's where you're going to find growth. The problem is when you have that comfortability factor, when you're working for someone else, right, and you're not working for yourself. Yes, it's streamlined. We're comfortable. There's something that's usually guaranteed up until someone else changes their mind and feels like you're not worth it anymore, right? But when you're working for yourself, I mean, you provide your own, success. So you depend on yourself and no one else. So it's really internal. It's really till this day, with as much business that we do, I wake up and I feel like I'm unemployed every day. And how am I going to find the next paycheck, right? Where am I going to get that from? What is the next deal that we're going to get? How are we going to survive? My wife tells me all the time, we're fine. We will be fine for a while, right? We have a good nest egg going. But to me, it's never enough. I want to make sure that we would be comfortable no matter what, even after I'm not here, which is our legacy, right? So that's what I'm protecting. And that's my goals. And that's really my why. And that's what keeps me going every day.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier, and again, you mentioned it twice now, actually. You feel like you're gonna break. Like, I wanna dive more into that. Like, do you have days when you wake up in the morning and ask yourself, "What am I doing?"
But yeah, almost every day. Almost every
Now,
day.
No, for good and to be honest, I do too. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm being completely honest, I do too. There's a lot probably every morning. Hey, I wake up, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing anymore or and so you have to go back to that why and I can totally relate to you when you say like almost on a daily basis it's like you almost feel like you're going to break. Like it really will. And just to give you some context, like for the viewers, to give you some or listeners, to give you some context, like how many units did you do last year?
We did 163 total transactions.
163 transactions, and you're one of the top teams in the state of New Jersey. I think I saw something on your social recently. So you've got like somebody that has amassed and reached like a very high level of success who still has those days where we wake up and feel like it's today the day I'm gonna break. What am I on the right path here? Like, so I really think because there's a lot of people that would probably look at me or you and say, man, I really want to get to where he is. And once I get to where he is, I'll be in a great position, right?
You're going to want it more. It's going to take more just to maintain what you have, right? It's almost like your career in real estate is like bodybuilding, right? It's like you're going for that pain, that painful muscle the next day because you know there's growth in that. So you test yourself every day when you get to a certain level to push yourself even more because you know you're going to grow from that. So that's what it is. It's almost like I'm not happy until I'm struggling in the day to know that I need to actually redevelop something to do it better. Right? Because we talked about this recently. It's like I'm not trying to compete with everybody else. I'm trying to be a better version of myself. Right? And what does that take? That takes pushing myself to the limits that I can personally take and then one step more so I can try to break it so I can see what needs to be fixed. And that's internally, externally, and everything, and personal and business. That's the way you need to be as an entrepreneur or business owner. I mean, I'm telling you, you wake up every day, you could know that you have this system and a well oiled machine going, but at any given point, that can break, right? And you got to be prepared for that because there is no security blanket. And that's what it is. That's why we struggle every day. That's why some days you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. No, you have to, right? You're going to have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. You don't find success in comfort, right? You find it in the actual instability. That's where you're going to find it. You're going to find it in all the pain points. And fixing all that is where the success is going to come. So you got to actually test yourself on a daily basis. And if you're not, what's the point? And what keeps me going? I mean, when I wake up in the mornings and I don't know if I'm going to do it, it's that one phone call from the agent or that happy client that you took them through a situation they never thought they were going to get through. That's what it turns into. It turns from paychecks to that personal self worth of trying to help somebody, right? So that's what really is pushing me forward.
Yeah, I love what you said. I'll try and quote you. I might mess it up. You said the success is in the instability. Success is in the instability, and like that breaking point is, and that feeling when you feel like you're at your breaking point is, that's what allows you to refine your systems and dive more into personal growth. And I think that's important to know, like, if we think about diamonds, right? Like, you can't create diamonds without pressure, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And I that's what I hear you saying, like, it's almost like, okay, and I don't know, do you I don't know if this is for me personally, but let me ask you this. When I've had, like, a week where pretty much everything has gone wrong and I've had to problem solve to no end, and Um, and it really felt like I was gonna break, but then I'm showing up on Monday and ready to rip and roar. I mean, that for me is a very fulfilling feeling, like I made it, I conquered, I'm still going, I didn't quit. Do you get that, like, kind of like fulfillment a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're always going to get more fulfillment when there's more of a struggle to get from point A to point B, right? Because you had a tougher journey along the way. There's more stories to tell along the way of how you got there, right? You're going to feel like, hey, this wasn't so easy. It took me to do such and such to actually get there. So definitely, I mean, it's a hard game, right? Like
Yeah. Yep.
anyone that tells you it's easy is really lying to you. And the fact is, if you sit there comfortably, you're not growing. And if you're not growing in this business, you're dying. So you have to have that testing. You got to test yourself. You really got to push yourself to the limits because you got to find growth in that. Yes, we all want to make that paycheck, but you also want to grow yourself, right? You want to make yourself better, and it takes pushing yourself to that limit in order to get better. That's where we find it, in those, the moments where you don't know what to do. What do you do after that? You try to figure out what the next steps are. That's growth in itself. So that's what I'm trying to find on a daily basis because I know if I sit comfortably, the next person is going to beat us or we're not going to maintain at the level that we're at today.
Love that. If you stay in your comfort zone or that pocket, you're gonna get beat. You're
You're
gonna
going to
get
get
beat.
beat, and it's going to be you beating yourself,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's what it
Exactly.
is.
Yeah,
Like you're not being
100%.
fair to yourself. Like who else? Who are you cheating? This is a commission-based business, right? If you don't put in the work, you're not cheating me. You're cheating yourself. And if you're not pushing yourself to that limit, you're the one that's actually capping what you could do. So, and if you want to uncap it, you got to keep pushing up to the top. You got to keep doing as much more than you did. You just got to keep pushing yourself. So it takes the constant, need to basically self-inflicted pain. That's
Yeah.
really what it is, right? It's like I gotta take 20 lashes today,
Dude,
just so I can feel that pain because I know I'm going to grow from it.
my wife will sometimes tell me that she thinks I'm a masochist, dude, like, I'm a glutton for punishment, but
You like it?
it's there's something about overcoming for me that I tend to enjoy. What you were saying earlier, I wanna go back to that for a second. When you think about it, like, you ever heard the saying that the harder the climb, the better the view from like the top of the mountaintop, right? So, like, if it's an easy climb to the top, the view's not nearly as good. And
Not
I
at
think
all.
that's really powerful. Um, I want you to tell me, was was there ever a moment when you almost gave up? Like, can you tell me? I'm sure that there was. So tell me about that moment, and then tell me, like, why you didn't, or how you move forward.
When I first started building the team, it was roughly around 2020, 2021-ish, right after basically the COVID shutdown. And we were very successful. We capitalized on like the growth of real estate during that time, and we were growing heavily. And then I lost some key members of the team, and that damaged me, emotionally, business wise. It was both levels of like personal and actual business that it hurt, and I didn't know if I wanted to do it anymore because I had dumped myself, like put so much into these people, and to have them just like basically walk away without having a conversation with me. I had doubts at that point. Like, what am I doing? Right. Like, if people can't really be honest with me and talk to me about, like, what they want to do or where they were going or how we could structure it, it really hurt me internally. And I can tell you, like, you take those like blasts all the time as a team leader. And it's that internal, like, almost like a dagger to the heart, and it happens all the time, but that time specifically was probably one of the worst because like emotionally I was torn, right? Like these people had broken basically my heart. It was more than on a business level. That's why. It was more like, on a mentorship of a peer to peer level of, I felt abandoned at that point after giving so much. And you just have to overcome. You have to know that, maybe it wasn't the right situation and learn to grow from it. But I was on a fine line at that point, and I was basically deciding, should I even do this anymore? Should I even be building a team? I can just go back and do it as easily as I did on my own. But you still get that happiness of just showing someone what to do, right? There's always going to be that pride in just helping other people that's going to push you forward, and that's what did it for me. But that was a few years back. We've overcome that. We're back to the transaction count that we had, but it wasn't an easy journey. It was difficult, and I had doubts along.
Yeah, like I said in the beginning, I know you. I know that you pour your heart and soul into people, and so it's got to be tough when you really pour into somebody and you really try and help them, and then they bail without a conversation. I've experienced the same thing, and it's almost like a breakup
It is,
with a
and you're
girlfriend
heartbroken.
or something.
Yeah, you're heartbroken, man.
Like it hurts,
You can at least come and talk to me, right?
right?
And that's what it came down to. And maybe I didn't create the environment where the person can come and talk to me. I don't know. That's what I always keep looking at is what did I do wrong and how could I make this better the next time around? Right? But still I had to learn from it myself in order to correct it in the future.
I love that you said that. I love that you said that because, right, everyone wants to play the victim. Woe is me, poor me. They left me. What's wrong with them? But you said
What did I
I
do
did
wrong?
something as a leader.
Yeah, to make an uncomfortable situation for someone to approach me with how they were feeling or how they wanted to change their future.
So you're owning your shit, really,
Oh, yeah,
is what
definitely.
I would say.
You have to. Yeah. How else are you going to grow, right? How else can I stop that situation from happening again? And I can tell you after that, we put a pause on such, exponential growth in a short amount of time to more focus on building and spending a little bit more personal time with our agents. And sometimes we've had coaches in the past. Both of us have shared the same coaches. I know that we've have one that says the pride cycle is always like something that we talked about. I was on my high horse, right, and I felt invulnerable, and no one could hurt us, and I took the hit, right, because I let myself do that. I set up the environment where that could be possible. And it really came back to it's really you got to stop blaming others and start taking blame yourself. That's the biggest part of growing in this business is to figure out what did I do wrong, not what is wrong around me, or what can I do correctly the next time around.
Yeah, so it's not the external factors, it's, you create your own reality, right? We all do. We as our own people, like we create. I think it was a famous psychologist that said, it was Carl Jung actually. Carl Jung said, there's 9 billion people in the world. That means there's 9 billion different realities. Like when we tell our kids, wait till you grow up and you have to face the real world. Like there's 9 billion different real worlds, right? Because it's all the lenses that it's the lens that you see the world through. So you said something about an eye horse. I've never heard that term before. What is that?
What did I say?
You said eye horse. You were on your eye horse.
High horse.
Oh, high
High
horse.
horse.
You're on your high
Right.
horse. I thought maybe it was a new term.
No, 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 no. I was on my high horse basically, and I was untouchable at that point. We were coasting up, right, and you feel like you're invincible at that point.
Yeah, yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and you really are not taking care of everything around you. giving attention to certain, people or situations that you should be doing. That's what it is. And you just feel like, growth is there. It's going to always happen. But in reality, it could stop at any time. That's when I learned, we got to protect what we're growing as well. So really, you got to be taking care of the people that are there to help you grow. You got to protect them and take care of them more than anything else, because that's why you're in a position that you're in today.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. You brought up the people that are around you. So what percentage would you say your success is dependent upon the people around you, the people that you put in the right people in the right roles, and that whole thing. The people around you, how much is your success dependent upon them?
Oh my God, it heavily weighs on that. I mean, just the people that I have around me now, just through like coaching, I've always been told that your network is your net worth. Just having those people to bounce ideas off of to help you along the way, that's just one, aspect of it. But having the right, people working with you as well directly on the transactions on the day to day is essential. Finding those right people, because when you get to a certain level, you're delegating more than you're doing internally, and then you're checking up on all that delegated action, right? And if you can find the right people that are doing things correctly, are actually growing your business and care about it, you're going to find, an easier time to get through the transactions and to actually grow your team, because it's essential. You're only as good as the people that you have that are helping with you. That's it. If you have a transaction coordinator that's bad, that's going to be your weakest link. You're going to always have a fault at that point. So, and that's going to reflect back on the incoming business that you're going to get in the future. But if you have that one key person, that one transaction coordinator who's always pleasant with the client on the other side, right? It's going to reflect on you. I think you have to have those, quality people around you. And sometimes that person that you have today is not going to be the right person for tomorrow, right? Just like that person you have today was probably not the right person for yesterday. It's all within your situation, and you all grow together. And if the growth isn't there any longer, sometimes you have to part ways. But you're developing it every day. It's always developed.
Yes. Your support team, the people that are kind of on the front lines with you, they're bought into your mission. That you've got buy-in on your vision, your mission, and they're holding hands with you through the journey. How do you find those people, and how do you decide, what role to put them in, and how difficult have you had to part ways with some that you really liked, but they just maybe uh, weren't the right fit? Like, and I know that was a three-part question, but yeah,
I
what are your
mean,
thoughts?
how do you find people? It takes time. It's really hard finding good people. And when you find a good person, you want to try to keep them, right? And really, it's not as easy said as it is, or as easily done as it is said. It's something that takes time, and it's really going back to your personal database of people and going out there and meeting new people. You never know who you're going to encounter, right? And that one person you meet, you might find a role. Like I'll tell you, like our newest elite coordinator, um, he actually came to us, and we didn't even have that position technically. Internally, it was done by a VA, and we created that position because we saw that there was actual potential growth in that, right? And even today, he just did a training with the team, which was a different, look on how to interact with our teammates to bring them the knowledge that they need. So you'll know along the way, you'll see what different qualities people have, and then you'll just double down and capitalize on it. I mean, going even basic as giving them a disc score when they're actually initially starting, but at least give you some type of idea of their personality traits and where they would fit ultimately based on the history of what people succeed at certain job tasks, right? It all starts there, but then seeing what they accelerate at, you know, what they're actually are better at and what they're not good at, and just doubling down and try to nurturing, the things that they're not good at as well. I mean, it's an ongoing task. I'll tell you that much. It's not like, hey, I found someone right out of the box. They're perfect for our team. No, everyone's got their different systems too, right? I mean, sometimes people really have to know what I'm thinking in order to get it going, and that just takes time and experience, right? Because I can tell you, I'm not the easiest person to work with, right? Because I want things done a certain way, but I know this certain way has got us this far, but I still look for other opinions because I know I'm not right all the time. So it's hard to find those good people. You're going to have to look internally within your group. You're going to have to put ads out there. You're going to have to network. And when you find them, you put them through some type of a testing so we can find out where they're at, what their personality type is, what they could be good at, and then just capitalizing on what we're finding that they're good at and trying to nurture, their things that they're not good at, and just develop the person. And sometimes, how do you know when it's time to part ways? You'll know, like you'll feel it, right? It's not always easy. It's not always parting. It's not easy parting ways. Uh, you know, we try not to lose people that we're working with that are good, right? But sometimes it's going to happen. You're just going to have to deal with it. Again, it's the heartbreak break aspect of it as well. But it's business. It's not personal.
Yeah. Yeah, I love what you said. And I'm a firm believer in this. If you find the right person and you don't have a spot in your organization for them, but they are just, a shining star, I believe create a position within your
Yeah.
organization because, like you said earlier, like good people are hard to find. If you find someone that wants to join your org and they've got incredible potential and they're driven and hungry and smart, like I say create a position. Do you agree?
No, I definitely agree. And you never know, it might be a position that you've always needed and you didn't realize it. Because we get so involved in our business, we're not looking from the outside in, right? And sometimes we're too busy working in our business, we're not working on our business. And sometimes we need that. We need those different opinions. We need to figure out and branch out and see what other roles we could use to supplement, the needs of our business itself. So if you find someone that's good, you you also can't think about, okay, this is the salary I'm paying them. Like, this is what I'm going to give them on a weekly basis, and let's see if there's improvement from that, right? What improves? Let's track it now. Let's look at the ROI of having someone on our team. If I bring someone on board and I'm paying them, I don't know, 50 grand a year, and they've found ways to make us 200 grand a year extra, that's a good investment, right? And that's just going to leave room for more growth. So that's the way I'm looking at things now. And definitely, if you find someone, especially that has good work ethic, I think that's really the most important factor is good work ethic. Hire them and keep them around. Figure out what makes them tick. What's their goals, right? So we're all on the same playing field here.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'll also add, work ethic. I'll add coachability to that one too.
That too.
Work
Yeah.
work ethic and coachability, like you don't need too much more. I don't know. I once heard hungry, humble, smart. Hungry, humble,
Yep.
smart.
Best qualities.
Yes, and it still sticks with me to this day. I mean, you know where I heard it. Very smart man. If we I want to get like a little bit deeper for a second here. If we stripped all your success and your role as a team lead and we stripped that all away, who are we left with? Who is Sharif? Who is Sharif if we take your success and your title and your position away?
Who is Sharif? I'm a husband, a father. I've been, in a position for most of my life where I was the father figure as well. I've had a lot on my shoulders, my whole life. So really, that's what's made me the person that I am today, though. But really, honestly, if I'm not working, I'm with my family. That's really, it's either that or I'm trying to make myself better. So that's really who I am. That I'm a family man. That's what I'm doing. And if you take away, the real estate, that's really, where I'm at.
So families your number one. I know that you had a couple big losses. Your brother, your cousin. Can you tell me like a little bit about that and how you recovered from those losses?
Yeah. I mean, I devoted myself to becoming a better person after these losses. So I lost my cousin in 2012. It was a surprise, right? No one knew it was coming. He was 39 years old, healthy. He was a doctor. Imagine that, right? And when I saw that, hi the pain that he left behind, the insecurities he left behind, with the fact that no one saw it coming and he was the breadwinner for the family. He took care of, he was like in the same type of role that I was, where he was not only taking care of his, his direct family, but also his extended family and things of that nature when people relied on him. And how, you need to prepare yourself for that day. And I didn't realize it before that, right? Just thought, hey, tomorrow's another day, and things will work out at some point. That's really what I thought. And when he died, I realized, hey, look, I got to figure out what I'm doing with myself. And that's when I started my business. It was that year. I remember it. Like, it wasn't too long after his death when I figured, hey, look, I got to figure out what to do so that I could leave something behind for the people that are around me, make sure that they're secure. And that's when I came out of, the paycheck mindset into, counting profit mindset and taking things on myself and building that, career that I wanted to do working for myself. When I lost my brother in 2019, it was right before COVID. That was painful. That was the person that was with me from the beginning. And again, you look internally, and like, how can I make sure that the pain that is caused by this death, and you know how can I make sure that no one around me feels that again? So that's when I decided to start my team, right? Well, that's when I went full force. Not only it was IT at the time and marketing, but went full force into real estate as well. I was working 3 jobs. Without those key events, I don't think it would have made me the man I am today. And then I lost my dad in 21. And, it's another eye opener. I feel like every time I've lost someone, it just opens my eyes even wider. And it makes you appreciate life, right? And really understand, what are you striving for, right? What are you doing all this for, and what are you leaving behind for everyone else? And those events, those three specific events, have what changed me internally. I mean, it makes me want to be a better person. It makes you realize how short life is, and how much you want to protect those that are left here after you're not, in some way or another.
Dude, that's powerful. That's powerful. So I mean, most people, again, like we're talking about like a different perception here, and we're talking about growth, right? This is growth obsessed, and like you really epitomized that. Like you had great tragedy in your life, and then you looked inward and said, "Well, what's the lesson here? What's the
Mhm.
lesson here, and how
Yeah.
can I grow from it?" And I think that's incredibly admirable, and something uh, that I look up to. I mean, I've always looked up to you as a person, as a human being, and also as a an entrepreneur as well. I mean, you're extremely sharp dude. Um, but that's, I mean, geez, that's a lot of loss to suffer in a short time frame. I love you said it, every time it opens your eyes a little bit wider, and that, so like when your cousin died, his family, if I'm understanding, there was definitely some financial issues there for them.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, successful physician, but didn't really build that savings, right? It opened my eyes. Like I'm the one that was tasked to like hack the accounts, figure out passwords, let's figure out what's happening because he supported everybody. His own family, 6 month old, 5 month, or I'm sorry, 5 week old child, 6 week old child that he had at the time, his wife, his parents, his sisters, right? His family abroad. So everyone relied on him, and he was really working day by day, and just getting by. And it was a role model for me, right? Like he was a doctor. I started off school pre med. It was based on, just walking in his footsteps. And he seemed like, what I wanted to be, right? He was my mentor to some capacity as well. And for him to just die like that, right? And the feeling we all had left behind after his death was something I didn't want to leave to someone else, right? Obviously, no blame on him. I'm sure he didn't even know it was happening, but it changes those who are left behind. And it makes you realize what's important. And I just wanted to make sure everyone around me was protected, right? If I were to die today, is everything okay? Will everything be okay? And making it as easy as possible.
I don't think a lot of people think about that, man, and I think that's, if anyone takes anything from this, I mean, there was a lot of takeaways in this whole conversation, but uh, life tomorrow is not promised. It's uh, it's definitely not promised. So I think, having a plan in place is incredibly important. You mentioned when you did transition, you were working 3 jobs at one time.
Yeah. Yeah. I was working 3 jobs basically. I mean, they were all me, right? I was self employed in 3 different areas, 3 different sectors. And, there was external things that had happened within some client base that I had where it was a big change. Like I lost my biggest client, my wife worked there, when my employee worked there, it was because of the growth that I was having. I had lack of time to put into the different places where I should have been. And I made a decision and went full fledged with real estate because I was just torn. And I really wanted to protect the fact that I had multiple streams of income, but it got to the point where I couldn't manage it all. And I just wanted to double down into one and stop being, the jack of all trades and an expert of none. And I really wanted to focus on being an expert in something. And really, real estate is what I enjoyed the most out of it all. And that's really where I wanted to focus, where all my efforts and possibly just branch out to different sectors within real estate, which is what we're doing today.
Yeah. Jack of all trades, but master at none. That's that's
That's it.
powerful too, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, so if anyone's listening right now, anyone's listening or watching, and they're in a W-2 job and they've been thinking about making the transition to entrepreneurship, what's the best advice you can give them?
It's never too late, but you got to start today. Right. And understand it's going to take a lot of work in the beginning. Right. If you want that goal, and you want that lifestyle that you want to achieve, it's going to take getting down to the grit of it right now and basically overextending yourself, because it's not easy, right? You're going to have to actually keep up what you're doing now, but add more to that, right? Because that's what you're trying to build. But go get licensed, get around the right people, right? Like go join groups like Bigger Pockets or just different realtor groups. I mean, even in our area, we started our mastermind group where we're meeting on a monthly basis to talk about real estate, right? Get around those people because it's a lifestyle. And those are just the things, the basic things. Just but you got to take that first step. That's really what it comes down to.
And that's phenomenal advice too, by the way. What is it? Something about starting is better than perfection. I forget the exact quote, but um, you just need to get started. It's like Nike, just do it, right?
You guys just do it. It's not, and you're right. It's not going to be perfect, right? People like
It's going
people
to be
think
far
that
from
it's perfect
perfect.
right off the bat. It doesn't work that way. I mean, like take videos for instance, right? Like it's been a lot. It's been a long time coming. We've been developing along the way. But if you look at my first videos, it's me with like you'd feel like it was a 1988 camera or something, trying to record myself and not knowing what to do. But you start to develop on yourself, right? Again, you're going back. It's almost like, a football player going back to game tape and just, watching it and seeing how they can improve on it, right? And you do that. You are going to be your biggest critic. Trust me. But don't let that stop you from actually taking those first steps, because no one's going to criticize you as much as yourself. So stop, get out of your own head, stop criticizing so much yourself, and just take that step. You never know what the outcomes are going to be until you actually do it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the other thing, man, if you do one thing 1,000 times over, I don't care what it is, you're gonna be a master at it. Right? So
Yeah,
go out there and make 1,000 shitty videos, and then your 1,000 and first video will be probably phenomenal.
exactly. But you got to do it. You just got to do it. I mean, I can tell you, like, I consider myself a listing agent now, but I didn't start off that way, and it didn't happen overnight, and it still develops until this day. I lost 2 listings in the past week, but I got 10, right? So, what do I learn from those two, though? What can I do better, right? And one was an 800 and one was a 100. I still go to any one of them because I know I'm going to develop some type of a skill. So I'm going to get better for the next time around. And you have to have that mindset,
I love
right?
that.
So you got to keep doing it. You got to practice it. You just got to basically tweak your skills every time.
I love that. So you took 10 listings in the last week?
I think it was like 9. Yeah.
9 in the last week. Alright. So if anyone's watching or listening and they're a struggling agent, what's your best advice to go grab 9 listings in 1 week?
Follow up. The gold is in the follow up. I can tell you one of the listings that we signed, I've been working for 3 years. 3 years. It just happened that I got assigned in the past week, but it took 3 years to get there, right? Things are just going to happen, but you got to put that consistent work in for you to get to a point where you're actually signing 9 or 10 in a week. I only got 2 this week. Like past week was 9, but it's consistency, right? And you're going to lose things along the way. That's it.
I heard consistency.
That's it. Consistency every day.
Every day, do the actions, the habits. Every single day. Don't be attached to the outcome, right?
Yep. Don't be attached to the outcome. You really got to be married to what you're doing on a daily basis. That's it. I mean, it's the
Do you love
nitty gritty grind.
do you love the journey?
Well, the journey is what it's all about. I don't even know if there's an outcome yet. I live so much in the journey itself, right?
So you're in the
Um,
moment. You're in the moment. You're loving the journey. Even if the journey sucks, you're still loving it.
I mean, there's always going to be stuff that you're going to find that you don't like. You'll find stuff that you don't like in everything. But there's going to always be more positives than there's negatives if you're enjoying it. So that you just got to find positives and really just, exploit those positives, right? And remind yourself about those positives, and it'll keep you going and doing it consistently every day. Obviously, you want some type of a goal or some type of a commitment in the future, but it's going to take today's actions, right, on a daily basis to get to that goal. So it's easier to break that down into daily, tasks than it is to think of that grand thing that you want in the end. So it's really about the journey. It's always about the journey and just tweaking the journey every day to make it a better journey.
I love that too. Now you mentioned that you're reading books a lot. Um, what's your as far as personal growth, becoming a better version of yourself, what's the best book that you've ever read that contributed to becoming the best or a better or the best version of yourself?
Go getter.
The Go-Getter. I don't even think I've read that.
That's a good book.
Oh, I'm gonna check it out. No, The Go-Getter. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, that book, yeah, it changes your outlook. Uh, let's see what else I got. I think that's probably going to have the biggest impact. Oh, I'm sorry, The Go Giver. That's
Oh,
what
The
it is.
Go-Giver. Okay.
The Go Giver would be one book, and Seven Levels of Communication. That definitely is another book that's changed my outlook and probably made me more of the person I am today.
How about How to Win Friends and Influence People? You a fan of that one?
I'm going through what I'm liking right now is 12-week year.
Okay.
That one, that's what I'm listening to on Audible right now. We also do book club as a team. So we're almost done, but to give him props, Michael Hellickson's buyer agent mastery book, how to be a world class buyer agent. That's a pretty good book actually. So that in itself is something that we give every teammate, and we're doing that in book club. Too Nice for Sales by Barry Jenkins. That's a good one too. I like that one, especially if you're dealing with online leads.
I like it as
Uh,
well.
yeah, it's a quick read. I literally read it in like 4 hours on a flight. Like it's quick. So I think that's a good one too. But the Go Giver is definitely, I think is the most impactful one for me personally. I think for our business was Seven Levels of Communication.
Okay. Good. Good. Last question, man. Your kids just graduated high school. You can give them three pieces of advice. What are those three pieces of advice as they graduate high school and you're starting to kind of push them out into the world?
What are the three pieces of advice? Well, hopefully be like your parents and work ethically and have good work ethic, right? That's always going to show your character. And basically, the people that you hang out with, number two, are going to mold you to the person you're going to become. So choose your crowd wisely. Have a good work ethic, choose your crowd wisely, and don't give up. Uh, it's essential. You're going to find yourself in times where it's going to get rough. Don't give up.
Love it. Love it, man. Well, listen, man. Again, I appreciate you. I always appreciate you. You've got a podcast and you've got your mastermind. Like, what else do you have going on? Where can people see like your content? Because you've got some awesome content as well.
Yeah, I mean, as you see on the screen, sharifsells.com. Sharif sells.com. It's a good way to find us, and there you'll find all our social icons. And really, any type of social media platform, we have content going. But really, that's the best way to contact us or just find us. And anything that we do is really on that website. We do support New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I know you're a Jersey boy at heart, Ben. So that's where we're at. And if you guys ever need anything in this area or just anything in general, always there to help a hand, lend a help.
What's your podcast called?
I think it's real estate agent success mastery. I don't even know
Oh my
the
god.
actual name of it. It's
Well, if I put when I put this on YouTube, send me the link so I can put the
it's
link
the
in.
real estate agent playbook.
The real estate
Um,
agent playbook.
Real
Okay.
estate
That's
agent playbook on
YouTube,
YouTube,
Spotify,
Spotify,
Apple.
Apple Podcasts, basically, everywhere we can get, and we'll be growing that. It's Peter Boutros and I that are actually running that. We also have a New Jersey mastermind real estate leads, tricks, and tips group on Facebook that's open to any professional out there just to share their ideas. We've been doing that recently as well. But yeah, I mean, really, if you search Sharif Sells on any platform, you're probably going to find us.
Awesome, man. Hey, I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy, so it means a lot to me that you spent the last hour with me. Uh, any last words?
No, thank you for the opportunity, Ben. I mean, you're a great friend. You're one of my mentors and role models as much as you like to talk about everyone else. I appreciate you too, my friend. You are an instrumental part of why I am where I am today. So thank you. Keep doing what you do, bro, because you inspire more than you realize.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
Yep,
that one.
you got it.